I would like to give a bit
Okay.
of a summary about this game that I really want your brain to try to sort of store as a motif. So the number one motif that is very important that we keep in mind, that in similar structures, especially if I play out the game correctly, which I haven't done, knight d5 jumps are quite thematic, but you must see a very clear follow-up. So you can't just throw in all the wood on the board and then hope for the best. So when white played knight d5 in this position, they had to foresee the consequences at least until here, at the very least. If you don't see this clearly, it means that at the best case scenario, you are totally gambling.
Right, because at least from this, you can see that you're going to win the knight back.
Well, either that or you see that after c7, there is tremendous positional pressure due to the two bishops, right? So knight d5 is stored now in your memory. And B, another very typical motif that was featured in this beautiful game was the fact that at times when there is this very clumsy layout that f7 is unguarded and only protected by the king, this can become a very, very cool idea to lure the king out. Note that they didn't have to retake on f7, by the way. Oh, wait a second. Rook a7, sorry. So, of course, they could have tucked away, but then you just take the rook, get a queen, game is over. So, they had to try to take, but then the double check tends to lure the king out to the open.
Yeah, because of the bishop checkmate.
And it ends in an absolutely stunning checkmate scenario. I'm going to show you...
What if they had played the best knight move? Could this have still been played out? You said that in the game the knight goes back to f8, but could they have played the other knight move that you said was a better knight move?
Oh, look. Is it better, really?
I mean, have worked out?
It's better in the sense that now black is going to lose in 10 moves, not 5.
Oh, it's the same problem.
So now we are material even, and I'm still killing you with this, with all of the above. So it is really just a matter of which death does black choose. I almost disagree with the book in saying that this would have been better. It's like, well, it's just a different way to lose the same game.
I see, fair enough.
Yeah.
This is a famous game?
No, well, not particularly, but I think it would deserve to be famous. The main reason why it's not famous is because it wasn't played by two famous dudes. But I think it represents a theme really, really beautifully.
Right.
And as such, it deserves...
Really, it's nice. I think it's good. So did they play it out? Did they took queen takes
f7?
Yep.
Yep. I think black resigned on queen f7. Let me just have a quick look for you. And right away I'm going to tell you... No, they resigned after the double check on d5, which is kind of lame because that was one move.
Well, I guess they could see it, yeah.
One move before the mate. If you get mated like that, I think it's not a bad idea to actually allow your opponent to execute.
To play it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a nice thing if they play a beautiful combination to not to be a spoil sport and just allow them to execute the main idea that they were aiming to do. I reckon that's in general a nice thing to do.
The 95 sack is, and I feel like when I was learning some Smith Moore, 95 is a sack idea sometimes.
Oh, look at you go. So I'm going to show you.
I never played it successfully. I just know that you can do it. I look for it every time.
Okay, well, I will show you Smith Moore. Don't tell me that I'm not a nice guy. So let's have a look.
Okay.
So here we go, Smith Moore and ID5. Take.
Yep.
Knight c6, knight f3, knight f6.
Bishop c4, I think.
Look, reading is hard for me. I please understand that reading for a teacher, nah, it's tough, man.
It's a learning process. You can do it. I believe in you.
You're very kind, but no, it's just no. So take c3.
Wait,
takes...
are you reading this? Okay.
Yeah. Look, the two things that challenge me in life, right? Reading and chess. These two are like, what on earth are you doing, man? Okay, e6. Now I got this together. Actually. You play Mora, right? Okay, you play for white then. Good. Oh, wow. When I said you play, I was hoping you would call it out. I didn't know you had access to moves.
Oh, sorry.
No. Don't be. Actually, wait. No, they played this instead. You can play it out.
I like rook d1.
Just for the viewers, it's more rewarding if you call it out, because if it's played on the board, they don't know if you played it on me.
Oh,
whereas if you call it, then you become a hero of the day. which is the whole idea.
Of the day. I'm gonna play Rook D1.
You legend, Rook D1. Okay, keep being the hero of the day, please.
Ooh, I'm not sure what to do. I think maybe I just go Bishop B3.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, there's the idea that sometimes if you can put your bishop back on F1, right?
Very rarely, very rarely.
Yeah,
that's
like never happens.
That's like 1 in 100.
Yeah, but that's the thing about the knight d5. I think about it, but I very rarely like. I
never hold it. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, bishop here. What is the thematic Mora move here?
Wait, is it knight d5? No. It can't be.
No. Too soon.
E5?
No. Are you done with development?
No.
Okay,
Bishop
so
F4.
precisely.
Bishop F4 would be really nice.
Exactly. So it's easy. Let's keep it simple. We're not done with development.
And then we're gonna move our. That's
yes.
right. We're gonna move our rook to C1.
Usually we do. That is correct. Bishop F4.
Yeah.
Excellent. Queen C7. Absolute dumb move. Really tragically stupid, but logical because it moves out of
the pin.
Out of the pin, right? The problem is that it is moving into a new pin. Should you play the correct move?
Pin, but yeah.
So what's your next move that is going to highlight the stupidity of Queen C7?
E5.
I actually don't mind E5 because
I think it should still be Rook C1. I think
it is Rook C1. Yeah. Rook C1.
Okay.
Of course, because it's creating a lot of tension here.
It's already in a pin, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't utilize that pin, right? Or not very effectively anyway. And now is the time. And again, by the way, you have got a lot of hints that indicate.
Oh, knight D5 can be played here.
Look at the excitement.
Because we're pinning the knight.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Knight d5. Boomski. And this is so good that here you don't even need to calculate because you see immediately that after ED, worst case scenario, you regain the piece with a better position, by the way.
Yeah.
Important to stretch. That this is not gonna be absolute carnage. They took. We took back. Now the problem here for black is that after knight f6, not only do they lose this piece, but they can't retake because then they lose the next one on the pin as well.
Oh, wow.
Like that's hardcore filth, yeah? So for this reason, they tried to get very cute and they played knight d4 here. It would be so good if I could play moves and when it was legal.
You might move back? Oh, here.
No, the knight did not go to f6. Instead they played... Whoa! Chess Dojo Live is raiding our party. So, 48 spies in the chat right now. 48 additional spies are watching now our lesson, Katrina. I think I will just stream blank screen, to be honest.
Well, we already got to the key moment in this game, I think, right? We just played it.
I need to tell you a story at this point. There was a very famous StarCraft streamer guy who was not exactly a good sport when it comes to losing. And he regularly got stream sniped. I guess you know what that means, yeah?
Yeah.
So people were watching him on his stream whilst playing against him. So they saw what he was doing, which in a real-time strategy game is like literally the equivalent of me knowing what goes through your head in chess. And so what he did was that he actually shut his screen down, as in he put on a blank, dark screen. So he was actually streaming to his viewers a pitch dark screen.
Okay.
Just so that his opponents couldn't see what he was, so that they couldn't cheat against him. Oh, never mind that it ruined the entertainment of about 300 people because he was one of the best StarCraft players in the world at the time. But he was.
But did he win?
Oh yeah, of course. Sometimes after that he did. But you know, it's like to what point? Like, hello, I might as well stare at the wall. So I'm thinking that actually with chess it's a lot more doable because if I pull up now a pitch dark screen, we can continue blindfolded, right?
Yes.
I am pretty sure that the entertainment value would be immense.
To do this blindfolded.
Yes. Okay, so what are we going to do now, Katrina, after knight d4?
I don't know because the knight takes our queen with check. So do you just take the knight? queen's gonna move away, and you already sacked the knight. So
yeah, we take the knight, and look, this position I would give 2 pieces for him as white, and now we are materially even, right?
Yeah.
So now we have got still knight c6 incoming. We still have knight f5 incoming. This is just pathetic. I feel like we should.
Oh, knight f5 is really nice after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Knight c6 incoming takes. By the way, I'm about to publish a video soon on YouTube about another knight d5 sack. But I don't want to spend the whole entire lesson on the knight d5 sack.
That's fair. We will wait till you publish it so we can watch it.
Yeah, rook c8 was played. But look, for the rest of the game, it's just total carnage. a4, I like this sneaky move.
Why?
Because...
because bishop a4.
Because presently white is struggling to find the square where he can crack the black position well and truly.
Right.
And I think that this is a good way to try to open up a new front, whether it will be the diagonal or just simply taking the pawn and allowing the queen to penetrate. So... yeah, they took, which is, again, disastrously stupid because that opens up this diagonal.
Right.
Takes.
Attacking the queen. I guess the rook could... Yeah.
Thank you for the follow, dude. Take, 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 take. And here, Katrina, I want you to pull the trigger again on a very, very cool idea. By the way, did you have a look at my antlers?
No, I'm just looking at a picture of you on a board, and someone suggested we should study that position. That would come on.
I'm very, very upset.
My bad. I didn't see it in the video. That's probably why. That's why your daughter came in trying to open presents. She was like, "Oh, it's time."
No, she knows that I put that on stream, so that's
yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind. That's not the moment. Let's come look. You guys want to see this?
I mean, look, we are doing the chess, but the antlers are way more important.
Oh, these are really nice. Yeah.
Yeah? I thought so.
Yes. Wait, do they touch your headphones or like separate? It's a headband.
No, this is a headband.
Oh, they're so cute. They're so... yeah, nice. Do they have bells on it? Probably not.
Look, no. No, and in fact, they broke off, so I had to glue them back. But I guess that's just...
They still look good. They still look good. I was just curious.
Yeah. Look, dasher is what I am anyway, even without antlers, right?
Oh.
Dashingly dasher.
Oh, I thought everyone wants to be Rudolph.
Well, you know, because of I'm dashingly handsome, that's why I call that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
With Don. Oh, my chat is saying they predicted that I would wear antlers, but they didn't predict that you would wear them. Look at that. You and dashing and surprising.
Ah, there we go. Rightio, so now let's focus a little bit on the less important things in life, which is chess.
There's an important move here to be played.
Well, let's call it the execution.
Is it a bishop f7?
I wish I could tell you if it was, but you are telling.
I really like bishop f7.
I do
kind
too.
Of move that I like playing. I never know if it's gonna work, and sometimes it doesn't. But bishop f7, and if the king takes, you have queen e6.
Okay, now we are going somewhere, but I need one more.
The king goes back to e8.
And that's when you need to play the key move. And if you see that, I will be so happy.
Bishop d6.
Careful there. You can, but bishop d... No, I can't take it. Careful, I can't take it.
You can't take it, and then you have queen c8 check.
No, I cannot, because if I take it, you take back with the queen, and I lose a queen, yeah? Because the bishop is pinned.
Right, also that.
So bishop d6 is a correct move, but not the best.
Okay. Right, our queen is on e6 now.
Yep.
There's a better move. I don't think I'm supposed to sack the queen here.
No, that's... we have got too little material.
Yeah. We need 2 pieces at least. I'm not sure.
Which... Well...
maybe queen g6?
Look, it's tempting because it's a check, but actually the king is at the worst possible spot on e8. What you need to do is to think about how we can bring a rook in for a kill.
We want to bring the rook in for a kill, and our queen is on e6. rook c8, the queen would take.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right, sorry, rook c1.
But that's protected.
Yeah, by the bishop.
So how would the queen take that?
I mean, you know, by just sacrificing her life.
Yeah, but then we are walking away with a win, right?
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay.
So what's the point of rook c1?
Rook c1 threatening rook c8.
Precisely. That's how the game ended. Bishop takes, king takes, check, king back, and rook c1, and white resigned. Sorry, black resigned because of the mate.
Because and their best move would be queen takes and then bishop takes.
Correct. And this is just utter carnage because A, this is too much material for white, but more importantly, there is no coordination among the black pieces.
Yeah.
So this is just terrible. And that was it. So what we need to highlight here, Catherine, as a difference between the previous sacrifice is that here we immediately had the chance to regain the material after ED due to the pin.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also a very common theme that even if we don't, we then get a lot of play along the E file against the king stuck in the middle.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because they're one behind in development.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you an example of that, but just very briefly because I really wanted to move on to the next theme, but just so that you see a third type of knight d5 idea. And as you can see, these knight d5 sets are very typical to all kinds of Sicilians. It's no accident that all the three examples I'm showing you are coming from various variations of the Sicilian. So the Sicilian is definitely a very fertile ground for these operations. So check this out. Here white played actually bishop d5 first, aiming to trade off the bishops.
Yeah.
And then after takes, he sacks the knight on d5. And the idea here is purely to expose the king on the e file.
Yeah, because at the pawn takes, and then it's
correct.
Check, right?
So what you need to foresee here is that bishop e7 insta loses to knight f5 or even knight c6.
Oh, right, yeah.
So generally there is a wisdom, Katerina, in... It's usually applied to Sicilians, but in general to the knight d5 sacrifices is that knight d5 sacrifices are almost always followed up by knight f5. And likewise, very often we sack knight f5 first, which are then in contrast followed up by knight d5. Because when that gets captured, then it's the d5 square that becomes available, right?
Right.
With similar ideas. But here we are dealing with the d5 sack. And the typical idea here is that if bishop blocks, then the knight comes in and kills e7.
And the knight is still there, so even if the pawns just trade off, you can still move your knight to f5, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't actually need to... You're trading off the bishop, so even if the pawn takes, the knight still takes back?
Sorry, I'm not following. What was the question?
So if instead of bishop takes d5 right away...
Yeah. Oh, if you mean if they take the pawn right away? Like this?
Pawn takes, yeah.
Yeah. We go down a very similar path.
Right, yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't actually need to sack. No. You're just sacking a piece on this square.
Correct. The idea is just
getting the knight there afterwards.
Yeah, crank open the file is where we are going with this.
Right.
Now, always you must reckon with king d7. And this is where it gets dicey, because now we are a piece down, and the only thing we have is initiative. And here you need to measure up, and usually you must rely on intuition rather than exact calculation, whether you are going to get enough counterplay or not. Because this position I would call incalculable, because the only thing you will see is that now you play knight c6. It's going to force the queen away somewhere, likely c8 or c7.
C8, yeah.
They actually went b6. And then you eliminate the last defender.
Yeah, you take the knight.
And then you bring in this check. And this is how far I would calculate this.
Okay.
And I would be like...
Oh, it's fine. We can play it.
Plenty of play.
Right.
Because no matter what, black will find it extremely difficult to coordinate the remaining army. In particular, the bishop on f8 sucks majorly. Because its natural square to develop is e7, but that's hardcore denied. And if I come this way, that instantly allows the penetration of the rook to e7. And so we are in an awkward spot where black is technically a piece up, right?
Yeah.
But that piece is actually the reason of their downfall, because that piece disallows them to connect the rooks and start trading on e8.
Right.
Alright, so
yeah.
As a result of that, we have here a very long-lasting and enduring initiative, but no instant win.
Yeah, I don't see how, what move... I guess you can just connect the rooks and...
Well, you have got threats like queen here is one of them, the typical operations. Another one is just to try to eat all the pawns on the f. Another plan here is to play something like b4, kicking the knight.
Okay.
And then play c4 and open up the c file against the king.
Right, okay.
So this is typically a position that if you showed it to a grandmaster and you ask them to evaluate it, they would say white is totally winning. And they would say that despite of the material imbalance, because they just see that there is one thing, on one side there is a material imbalance that is black is a piece up, but that is massively outweighed by the fact that none of the black pieces can do anything at all.
Yeah, it's true.
Dynamic features always overrule material balance. I will show you how it ended.
Okay.
You can guess that the answer to that is very ugly, is how it ended. They actually played queen f3. Know that the king is worse on d7 than on c7.
Oh, to go after f6?
Yes, because if I go check, then at least the knight can sometimes read out here trying to block off the e file.
Right.
So queen f3 is actually an even more mature idea.
And the bishop could... Right, the bishop, if it goes to g7 to defend it, you just have rook e7.
That, but you also have the check to pick off the loose pieces, yeah?
Right, yep. Four's at the UP?
Yep. So queen c... Wait, what?
Didn't you make that up?
I made up the whole game, man. Oh,
wait, where are we going back? Are we going forward?
No, we are going back because I messed this up. So this was a hypothetical, Katrina, for me to show you motives.
Oh, right, yes.
But as a matter of fact, in the game, b4 was played. This is actually even worse for black. And after takes, we played knight d5.
Yeah.
After takes, king d7. Yeah, it's going to be totally the same thing. King d7, knight c6, queen b6, takes. So this is actually the game.
Yeah.
Which is far worse because in our version, the knight was on c5, right?
Yeah, at least the knight was, because now if the king ever moves over, then you can still do the same ideas.
Yeah, I just looked down on the book and it said queen c5, and I'm like, wait, there's a knight on c5. What?
Right.
Queen c5, I mean, this is just agony. Absolute agony. It's just waiting for white to do whatever. Note that you can't wait for black to take this. I would pay money for this to happen because that opens up the c file, yeah?
Right, yes.
So he just plays rook d1 to cover this. Rook g8, queen f6, rook g7. I mean, look at how sad is that.
Yeah. Where does the...
Okay, what
it's true, it just has to defend the pawn. But where does white go?
What is the finish of he, Katrina, that will regain all the material and retain a huge advantage to us? Remember what we look at first?
Checks.
Correct. What is the first check you look at?
f7.
Okay, what's the second check we look at?
Rook e7.
Very good. Follow that, please. Calculate it out loud for me now.
Bishop takes e7, and then queen takes e7, check. King c8. Queen c... Sorry, king c8, and I guess you have queen e8, but the knight blocks.
Oh, no, I don't think so. That knight is hanging for free.
Oh, yeah, it just moves back. No. So it's... Why doesn't the king go to c8?
You just said queen e8 check. So we are calculating Katrina, rook check takes, king he check.
Yeah.
At which point you want it to block, to which I said...
Oh, yeah, that knight does hang.
Don't do that. That's hanging for free.
True. So where does the king go? c7 then?
Yes.
And then after the king is on c7, do you have another check?
No, that's the time to harvest.
You mean by picking up material?
Yep.
What are we gonna take?
The one and only piece that is hanging for free.
The rook?
Yep.
You just take rook a1.
A8, yeah. Sometimes,
Yeah, sorry,
sometimes
A8.
we have to be lame. The funny thing is that
really?
after, yeah,
Is
yeah.
there checkmate after that?
I don't think so. You really feel like there has to be a mate here, right?
Feels like you gave away a lot of pieces. Yeah.
Well, actually, we just regained every single one of them, and now we are threatening to win the knight as well.
That's true.
I mean, this king is a joke. The funny thing, Katrina,
yeah.
is that in this position you can choose which rook you want to win, because this checks down this rook.
Right.
This checks
F7
down that
also
rook.
Works. Yeah.
So you are spoiled for choice, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure if this is the best move. Like, it's so tempting to just keep on building and try to get a mate, but this is just very clean. They took here. Black took this. I will show you how the game ended, just so that we get a closure. Check here. Unfortunately, the rook is hanging, but now we are threatening with mate here, yeah?
Right.
Check, king back mate.
Right.
And that is the convincer, as far as I'm concerned, that now it is well and truly over. Well and truly over. F6 was played to bring the rook in the defense. Knight takes, hitting this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just...
Queen moves somewhere, and then you just take the... Yeah, with check.
And now they chose to give up because mate here and mate here was a touch too much to handle.
F7 is the pawn is actually... Yeah, it's their only saving move.
Yeah. So that was a little bit of a... I don't know what to call it. A selection of knight d5 sacrifices. And sort of I tried to give you a bit of a various scenarios where different motifs are at play. But what I'm trying to highlight with this, Katrina, is that this is likely to, not because I'm telling you, but because of the way how it's structured, it's likely to leave an impact on your learning and the way how you see.
Reviewed it multiple times.
But also because you saw a structure where it was typical, right? So you associated with the pawns on here and here, the Mora idea. So you have got something to hang on to. I just watched you solving that last puzzle, and I had no idea what the solution was. Like, not even close. I was looking at it for 2 minutes whilst you were with the stream, and I'm like,
right.
I don't know. And I couldn't connect it to anything. Like, I would have had to spend...
pattern that it's linked to.
Yeah, exactly. So I would have had to spend 10 minutes solid on that to just use pure calculating skills to just weed out all the crap to find the one and only line.
Yeah.
And those things are very unlikely to occur in your games.
Right, because I've heard that's like you're supposed to play the practice ones where you do the same ones over and over again, like for example mate in 3, so that you can practice like just finding.
Look, the idea was beautifully done, unfortunately, by Kostya in a video, so I can't make a video about this. He has made a YouTube video about why online puzzles can be actually not really that great for your growth. And one of the underlying reasons that he discusses there beautifully is the fact that the puzzle doesn't tell you what the motif is that you are learning.
Yeah, you have no idea.
All it gives you is, you're right, you're wrong.
Yeah.
So there is no actual, cognitive
where you,
response.
Start to recognize. Because there are some puzzles, it feels like, I've seen a lot of some puzzles where the idea is very obvious, but it's obvious to me because I've seen over 100 of the same idea now. Yes.
Now, the other reason why Kostya said what he said very correctly is that a lot of the times, like when you are solving puzzles online, you always solve one line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the computer is 100% in charge of what line they choose to be the main line that you have to play out all the way to get the tick for correctly solved. A lot of the times, the best ideas and actual motifs that you could learn from are not chosen by the engine. So even when the puzzle itself would be very good for demonstrating an idea, they opt to go for a sideline because the engine, for example, considers as that's more likely that black could survive. And so all the learning goes away because they don't play out the variation that, would be effectively showcasing the actual concept of why that particular puzzle is good.
That's true.
So, for example, in that Mora game, when we chuck knight d5 in, it's very likely that the engine would not take it, excuse me, back away with the queen, and then you play a lame move and you get a tick. And we have no idea what would have happened after e5.
It's true.
So, I
never thought about that.
That's the downside of engine puzzles. Now, there are places somewhere in the dark web, wink wink, where you can find thematically collected puzzles.
Okay.
Where the idea is that here is a theme.
You can choose the theme. You choose the theme.
You choose the theme, and then they give you the puzzles.
Right.
But that was just a wink wink.
Wait, doesn't Chess.com have that?
I don't think they do.
They have this puzzle feature.
Do they?
It's called learning.
Show me.
You go puzzles, and then so click puzzles and then puzzles.
Yep.
I guess. And then on the bottom it says custom.
Take me there. Show me. I think I'm seeing. Or maybe I don't. Hang on.
I can't change the analysis board to it. You have to.
Okay. Yeah. I'm on it. Yeah. Custom themes.
Custom, and then you choose your theme, and then the rating range. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No. This is like something. This? Yeah. This
is that what you're kind of talking about?
Yeah. So I didn't need to wink wink. This is somewhat decent. I quite like this idea.
Yeah, and then the idea is that you're supposed to like maybe practice, I don't know, discovered attacks or something.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, can I go back to where we were? And then you can sort of
recognize.
Yes, I can. Yeah, okay. Do you still have access to what I'm doing?
Yep. This one? I moved to pawn.
Yeah, I just did. Okay. So now I'm going to move on to a different type of sacrifice. And we are desperately running out of time, but I desperately don't care.
Okay.
If you don't.
It's fine.
And again, we are going to ignore the opening end altogether, although we are taking note of how beautifully these people are playing chess this time. Do you know this opening at all?
The semi-Slav?
Oh, look at you go.
I always call the bishop bad in this one, and then I call it the French bishop, and people say that I'm wrong because I think I am.
Okay, the reason why you're wrong is actually because the French bishop will be a boost beast on this one.
Right.
You're about to see.
It's not a bad bishop at all.
Yeah, no, so there you go. That bishop is a monster. Yeah. Semi-Slav, but this particular variation is called a Meran.
Oh, I don't know that. Why is it? Oh, it's named after someone.
I think Meran is, or Merano. Merano, I think, is an Italian town, but Meran, I think, refers to a Spanish minority, actually. I could be wrong. But anyway, so the semi-Slav is basically best recognized from this position after knight c3, e6. And here, if white plays bishop g5, then we can go into the Botvinnik. If I play e3, that's the Meran.
Oh, okay.
So there is a big branch there that separates these things. So knight d7, bishop d3, takes b5, bishop back to d3. It's a very, very popular line on the highest levels and has always been for the last 50 years. e4, b4, knight a4, c5, e5, knight d5, castle takes, and knight e5. So white has sacrificed the pawn. What would you say we get in compensation?
Faster development.
And?
Centralized pieces.
And?
Except for the knight. Wait, you mean and there's more?
Yes.
Faster development and centralized pieces?
And there is a problem in black side that we are aiming to exploit.
What will we exploit? A weak king in the center.
Bingo! King safety. This guy is uncastled. So basically, the way you look at this game from here on out, Katrina, is that if we manage to keep this king in the middle, we are almost certainly going to win.
Right, but in the next move, they're going to move their bishop out, right?
Unfortunately for them, it's our turn.
Oh, right. Right.
So it's time for you to turn on the heat.
How to prevent them from doing this? Bishop b5 check.
Yeah, that is a super motivated move to play this because you didn't want to give up the bishop 4-knight anyway.
Yeah, I had to move.
Check. What did they do?
Knight c6 or bishop c6.
Let's pretend that you said neither of those.
What will they do? Do you think the king is gonna move?
Katrina, knight c6 is hanging for free, yeah?
Sorry, knight d7.
Now you're on the money. And now we have got a fairly large number of logical choices here. I would like you to list a couple of candidate moves.
Well, we could take it or go. I don't know. It would be really nice if c5 was an outpost. It's not playable, so we need to come up with something better. Do we develop a piece, move our bishop?
That sounds like sacrilege, developing pieces. Come on. Why would you do that?
Okay, we could sacrifice our centralized knight on knight c6. The bishop takes and we can attack the rook.
Yeah, we could, but
that pieces for a rook. I don't think that works.
That's too early days. Too early days for us to sack. We have got way too many dudes.
Yeah.
Still at home that would like to join the party.
But you said we shouldn't develop.
No, we should.
Rook e1.
Katrina, that was a sarcasm.
All right, rook e1 then.
Rook e1 is a brilliant idea. I really like it. Now, I really feel very bad for doing this to you, Katrina, because it's Christmas, but I must.
Why?
You said maybe take.
Yes, I know you're not supposed to.
I would rather chop my hand off than take this.
You're not supposed to take knights with bishops.
Not only that, but this is a pin.
Yeah,
to voluntarily give up the pin like that, the only time you do that when there's a mate to follow.
Right.
This is gold. I'm not giving it away for anything ever. Right? So rook e1 is a great move.
Rook e1. But then bishop e7?
Look, yeah, fair enough. So rook e1 is met by bishop e7, and that's when you start looking at party tricks like knight e6. And they may or may not work. But definitely rook e1 is one of your main candidate moves.
Yeah.
Now, if I made you move this guy somewhere aggressive, where would you go? Maybe the aggressive confused you.
Are we supposed to attack something? So I don't think queen f3 because that's like aggressively into a pin. So I thought maybe queen h5. Okay,
so queen h5 is creating a threat. Did we realize that?
On the f7?
No, that's not a threat. Are you threatening to take it?
Oh, you mean after rook e1?
No, after queen h5, you're threatening to do something very, very hurtful to black. What is it?
Knight e6.
Okay, so be sure that you memorize this motif.
Yes, knight takes e6.
That this pins the pawn on f7. Yeah. And now we are threatening with the game-winning knight takes. So what that means, Katrina, is that we essentially are developing this queen with a tempo. So they don't have time to play bishop e7, which they so desperately wanna, because then we just take this. So what we are doing here is that we are developing and we are delaying their development.
Right.
That's like scoring 2 freebies in one go.
What if they play mystery move g6?
Very good question. I have a bad feeling I may have showed you this game. Please remind me if you have seen it, but I don't know. I did show it to another student of mine, I remember that.
Oh, you'd have queen e5, I think.
So the idea, well, actually, you are onto something here. Even if after g6, you must come back home to e2, you have accomplished a weakening move. So now if they play bishop e7, you can go like, nay, not happening.
What if they put their bishop on g7?
Now, if they put it on g7, then this sack has become a hell of a lot stronger because they won't be able to block with the bishop.
That's true.
Right? So right away, take. If queen takes, you regain the piece because the queen is pinned. So now we are messing with their head big time.
Right.
My chat was also recommending, by the way, queen g4, simply disallowing the bishop to move because of the pawn.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And note that from here again, we are looking to hurt them.
Right.
Also a very reasonable idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? So the game continued like this. Queen h5, g6, queen went back to e2, and black played a6. And this is a bit of a point of no return.
Can you still sack the knight on e6 here?
Unfortunately, Katrina, that's my question.
I don't think that they can take your bishop right away because the queen is hanging.
I fully approve.
queen, either they take it back and then the queen takes on e6 with check and maybe the bishop blocks, or the queen moves away and then the knight moves with a discovery.
Yeah, it's hugely unlikely that after takes they won't take you.
I think they're gonna take back, yeah. So they take back and then queen e6 check, and then I think that the bishop blocks.
Okay, so the reason why this whole game is very difficult is because unless you see the follow-up move after bishop blocks,
yeah,
this looks very, very unconvincing.
Yeah, because you just sacked a piece.
Because if in this position after take, you have to pull the bishop back.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
That's just ridiculous. So I want you to try to visualize a good follow-up move after bishop e7. It's ridiculously hard. Like, I would be hard-pressed to find it, so it's very reasonable that I'm asking you to find it in the spirit of no pressure and, you know, being rational and reasonable and all those things.
After bishop g5?
Very much you are on the right track, Katrina. The problem with bishop g5 is that black is so heavily defended on e7.
Yeah.
That it's very unlikely that we can break them on e7. That's the most natural thing and desire to do, is to pile up like hell on e7. The problem is that whilst we're doing it, we just lose every single piece we have.
You lose your knight.
And we still haven't managed to over-attack e7. Like, it's still safe.
Yeah.
Yep. So, unfortunately... we can't break them on e7. You need to be very creative. Actually, I will set it up because it's very, very tough. Just go from here.
If bishop takes c7, the queen takes, that also doesn't work.
Correct. You would never want to give up the spin.
And the problem is that our bishop is hanging, so I guess you could move it to bishop c6.
Yeah, you could, but then again, this is typically a move that seems to lack the oomph. The forcing, the power that we like to smash our opponents with.
Knight b6 or knight c5, but a takes b.
Hold it. Knight b6 is just simply blundering a knight.
That's right.
Knight c5, on the other hand, is exploiting both pins. Right? So the knight is safe on c5. So what do we do? You have to take.
You can take on b7.
And why is that so sexy?
Because you're going to go knight d6.
That's one of the reasons, but give me a few more reasons why that makes us excited.
If the queen moves away,
which it has to.
Yeah, now we have an attack on e7.
We do, but we also have an attack on something else that we haven't had an attack on. Because bishop on b7 was responsible for guarding something, right?
Oh, the knight on d5.
Bingo. So after knight c5 takes, this actually turns out to be entirely resignable for black. Because no matter what they do, you pick off this piece next. And we are going to be materially balanced. In fact, it will be a pawn up. And they have
because picking this up will just defend the knight. The queen can go wherever it wants. And then we can still move rook e1. And they're probably never going to castle.
No, they will not. This is all over Red Rover.
Yeah.
That's like, let's give Katrina the next Nobel Prize for chess. So, seeing all this, black went like, okay, that's crap. So instead, I'm going to do this. So that when you do the same shenanigans, there is no knight hanging here. So you are still down a piece. But on the flip side, this really does look like black is attempting to lose in the most spectacular fashion.
Right.
Okay, so how do we continue the attack after queen here now?
Knight d6 check.
Very good.
But that just gives away a piece, right? No, it's not at all. The queen's never going to take that. I always think that more powerful pieces will take non-powerful pieces. I don't know why.
All right. So what are we doing after King D8?
King D8.
And this is going to be a very powerful lesson or moment here that we are going to learn now. Go
on. Bishop G5. I also like Bishop E3.
Okay, so did you notice that you had a check here to pick off the rook?
No, but that is a nice fork.
I know, but actually that's the wrong thing to do.
Good, because I didn't notice.
So after King D8, if you go check, I go back. Now the queens are on, so you must trade queens, which should already make you feel like I shouldn't be doing this. Then we take, and after Bishop G7, now we are going to lose the knight.
And we haven't developed any of our other pieces. We can't just give those away.
Look, we can do this, but in the end of the day, now we are in a boring endgame where I'm not even sure we are better. So anytime you have got an attack on a king like this, the last thing you want to do is to try to rake back the material as soon as you can. That's always the worst thing. What you want to do instead is to continue building up the momentum of the attack with moves like you said.
Or you could,
that are going to make you feel
to move away.
That we are actually material up, not down, because none of these doofuses can do a single thing.
Yeah.
Bishop E3 is marvelous. And after Queen A6, we
Rook C1?
Very good. Rook C1 is a lovely move. Full credit. They actually played Rook D1. And that's a little bit of a weird move because I would have anticipated the other rook to go to D1 so that this guy can go to C1.
Right. But is the idea knight B7 and then queen takes?
Actually more like F7 because if queen takes that defense, yeah?
Right, yes.
So the reason, by the way, why he chose this rook is because he wanted to put the other one here. So now we are threatening with all kinds of mates. But the opponent did not care about that and played rook G8.
They were probably really worried about a fork.
Yeah, so... But now after check, queen takes D7 just seems to be winning. So let me just see if I'm reading this correctly. Apparently I am. I mean, look. Knight check, king here, and after takes, it's still a little bit unclear, right?
Right.
So, actually, I totally get why they did not play this. Once again, don't cash in too soon. Instead, increase the tension. How would you increase tension here?
There's queen F7 and then with idea of queen E8.
Dude, you are playing like a grandmaster. I actually wouldn't have played that. I think, or maybe I would have, upon longer thinking, I would have considered here either rook E1 or bishop G5.
Oh yeah, bishop G5. I forgot we moved the bishop there. Yeah.
Yeah, to add...
But the bishop is still defended by... So you would need both. Rook E1.
Yeah. But look, the idea is to completely tie them down. So there's a pin here, there's a pin here. Like, there is nothing like sadism in chess. That makes you feel so happy.
Right.
And this is...
It's true. I don't know where's black supposed to go. All the pieces are just kind of hanging.
But they actually did play queen F7.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's why I said that you're playing like a GM.
I thought maybe queen E8 if you ever moved the rook to C1.
Yes. So the idea is that now we have got all kinds of filthies coming in here.
Yeah.
So the
afterwards the knight would be hanging now.
Oh shoot! No, I'm lying, Katrina. Sorry. They played rook E1 first.
Oh, okay.
With the idea of various bishop moves.
Just bishop G5.
So they blocked that.
Okay.
Then we came up with the Katrina genius. Then they played here. And there are multiple winning moves here for white. But the move that was played in the game was particularly beautiful. And I don't want to torture you too hardcore with this. So I will just show you the move and then you can tell me why this is a stroke of a genius.
It would.
Yeah, I know that it would have surprised you. It surprised me too when I first saw it.
The whole idea of F7. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I know you wanted to go check, right? But now it turns out that no, not quite. So what is white threatening with after 94?
Rook takes d7.
Rook d7 followed by?
The king takes knight c5.
Bingo. That's one deadly threat, but there is another.
Okay. Bishop b6 doesn't work.
Something is hanging for free in this position, which is not so easy to spot at first sight.
Oh, right. f8?
Yep. So this is also a threat. Black has Black has no defense against both.
King c7?
Doesn't stop.
And then rook c1. Right, yeah, it doesn't stop it.
Doesn't stop it. You know what stops both of them? Resignation.
Oh. Why rook g6 though?
The reason why they played rook g6 here was because they ran out of chess moves. But do tell what you want to do. Like, what would you do?
I have no idea. Rook. I would have sacked my rook on c8.
Oh, you would recommend rook c8 here?
Yep.
The problem with that is that now after check here, take, we have check here.
Right, I'm winning the queen.
If knight c6, rook takes, yeah? King takes and pick up the queen. I think that is quite comprehensively winning there.
That's true.
I'm trying to look for
other better moves for black.
Something even more aggressive than that, but I think that's good enough. Look, it ought to be absolutely horrid. Let's see what the engine says, just for funsies sake. +6. Engine's favorite move is queen c6. And the biggest irony is that even against that move we play 94. That's a beauty. And now you're coming in from all different angles.
Right.
And if queen takes, then we win the queen. Just kind of lame, but hey, sometimes we have to. Yeah, that's true. And the only way for the king to get out of this pin is to get into this pin.
Right. Of course. It's not going to do that.
Yeah. Yep. That was our knight e6 carnage.
Yeah. So as long as, sorry, can we let's recap this super quick. How?
I would recommend that we go back all the way to here.
Yeah, we got here by sacking on d5.
e5 was where we sacked the pawn. And then we sacked on e6. If I play out the correct moves, which I didn't. So give me a sec. So g6, queen e2, and a6 was played, and then we sacked on e6, cracking the king open.
Right.
Yeah?
Yes.
That was the idea. So this is the key
is to attack while the king is in the middle.
Yes, with knight e6, demolishing the defense. I'm going to show you one more example, Katrina, and then we are going to call it a day. I think... Yeah, we went way over time, but that's fine. I have no problems with that as long as you're done.
This has been really nice.
This is going to be same sack, very different position and ideas. Castles b4, knight a4, knight f6, d3, d6. Just ignore garbage opening moves. We don't care. c3, knight c6.
Yeah, the knight is on the side. Okay, there's a lot happening here.
Yeah. They didn't participate in proper coaching. ed, knight d. However, from here on, you already noticed something, or you should. If you were to play this with white, you would notice that the
king is in the middle.
Knight f4, knight e7. Ugly move, going backwards, blocking the bishop. King in the middle. Knight c5, tempo on the bishop.
Yeah.
Carnage time.
Queen h5, it still works.
It does, but you would want to inquire in this case that it may actually be helping black now, because that's my only way to develop my bishop, right?
Right, that's true.
So the analogy that I wanted you to recognize was not the queen h5 idea, but the sack.
Oh, we're gonna take a knight. Okay, knight takes e6 first. F takes e6. We have a second knight that can take on e6 again. Oh, we're gonna check first. No, the pawn takes. The pawn pushes. If queen h5 after the knight sack and the pawn takes, then g6, right?
Yeah, but there is a follow-up there, actually. So you are totally on the money. After takes, takes. I do think that simply... I want you to have a look at this, Katrina. So after take, take, even if we just take queen anywhere and we play rook e1, I would play it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. We got 2 pawns. The king is stuck. All pieces are...
The king is not moving. The bishop is trapped.
All pieces are crap. Give it to me any day of the week. No worries whatsoever. Any day of the week. I'm not even looking deeper than this. But after check, g6, we have this super obnoxious move hitting this.
Attacking the rook.
And hitting this. But before we even go there, after knight g6, which looks a touch more natural, in this position, we have a beautiful finish. Absolutely breathtaking. Very common tactic.
I don't think you can go knight g7. This is not the common, and there's no fork on c7.
This is gonna be a textbook. Bang, 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 bang.
This is a... Takes... Can you take... Bishop takes, knight, bishop takes. And then queen d4 and then knight fork on c7.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that is it.
I didn't want to think about it because I was like, I don't think the bishop is supposed to take the knight here. What I'm learning from this lesson is that I
bang, bang, bang.
in fact consider sacrificing material for lesser pieces if I just think a few moves ahead. You know, like one knight for 2 pawns, totally fine.
Yeah, I don't even I don't even like, Katrina, the comparison there, because what you really should look at instead, if you don't mind me saying this, is that you give up material for initiative.
Right.
So you shouldn't even count what you are getting back. Screw that.
Right, like a gambit.
Yeah, exactly. No one cares. Okay. The idea is that you are getting a different type of value. So we give up material in return for initiative, in return for attack, in return for opponent's pieces completely bungled up.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, after the check, they went g6. Here. What do we do now? There are actually several good moves here. That's great news.
I like taking on e6, but I don't think we're in a rush.
Yes, so knight e6 is good. Queen e6 is good. Where would you put this guy if you were to move it?
On to g5.
Because you are a legend.
The knight's well, I guess that's fine. After you take the pawn and the knight is pinned and all of it, you can just take that knight on d5.
Look, there is a very important learning from this particular move. And that is that the best mentality about this move is to not to ask what it does. In terms of, okay, what will I gain? This is such a great move that it's too good for it to be questioned. It creates a pin, it puts tension on this knight. It means that this knight is also now tied down, but there is another pin. You are doing the right thing. Okay, this doesn't need explanation.
That's developing with tempo.
Yeah, like if this move needs to be explained, then chess is a bad game.
Right.
Right. So
that's true.
We just this is where you need to be, you know, the elitist person to say that we are above that, where we need to explain this. It just ought to be the best move, and so we move on.
Okay, perfect.
No questions asked. Yeah. Right, bishop g5. What's up, chief? Yeah, I know that mommy's saying that, but mommy can wait. Sorry.
You told her that when she got back the present. I mean.
Yeah. Okay. They played.
They don't forget.
No, they don't. 8-6. Now, Katrina, we are about to commit sacrilege. total sacrilege. And the reason for that is because we can't retain the pin.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to now do something with the immense tension that we managed to build up in the past 4-5 moves. So now we are unfortunately forced to cash in. But even in that case, we will do our very best to cash in as brutally as we can. So what do you propose?
Bishop f6. Knight takes, and then bishop takes c6 with check.
But then that just takes this, right?
Oh yeah, because it's not pinned. That's true. Okay.
Let's have a look at this.
On e7. Yeah, and then the bishop or the queen takes.
So which one?
Queen takes.
Okay.
Then. I'm not sure. Now we can no longer take e6.
Yeah, you can. Why couldn't? No. Why couldn't you? Look.
Because oh yeah, that's true.
That's exactly what we should do, because by taking on e6, now we remove the root defender of d5.
Right.
And you also see that rook c1 is incoming with a tempo on this bishop. Again, typically a position that if you showed to a title player, they would just look at it and they go like, yeah, set the pieces up. This is over. This is just over. And the motif again is identical to what we saw before. That now if they take this, we take this with check first and then take the queen.
Right.
Whereas if they take here, we take and then we regain the queen with 75 pawns up. Beautiful. They took back in the game with the knight. Bishop allows the loose pieces to drop off, yeah?
Right. But if the knight takes back, then isn't the... Oh, no, that's not true. You can't take back on c6 still.
So in this case, the carnage was, and this is again extremely instructive, check, check, hitting all of them.
Yeah.
So the only way to defend everybody that is hanging is knight e7.
Yeah.
And again, you look at this and you go like, this is the most pathetic thing I have seen in my life. This is why we don't count...
There's no pieces, yeah.
Yeah, this is why you don't count material most of the times if you are a good chess player, because what's the point of acknowledging that black is a piece up? None of them can move. And after knight e4, black resigned because...
knight f, yeah.
Good luck stopping both of these bad boys without losing a queen. Yeah, like knight f6 is actually a mate threat, so the most likely way to stop it is this, and that allows check, and now if king here is mate, and therefore the queen needs to be given up.
Right, and just, wow.
And that's just bang. And it's all over. So that was the second and unfortunately our last example, Katrina, for a sack on e6.
That was really good.
With the idea of opening up the king and exploiting the king in the middle.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off there. Go ahead.
No, nothing. I feel like I've been learning chess in the boring way, where they say you're supposed to only trade your knights for knights and count your pieces and do the math, and if you're not, this is way more fun.
Can I just tell you there right away that that is not the boring way to learn chess. That's the wrong way to learn chess. That is the ultimate way to get everything seriously messed up in your chess life. And unfortunately, I see it a lot, both on...
this is just, as long as we attack, it's fine.
Chess, Twitter, and everywhere where everyone seems to be evaluating positions in priority order, first based on material and then everything else. Whereas it should be the polar opposite. It should be first king safety, then dynamic considerations, piece activity, and in the very end of the tier list is material. That should be the bottom, so that when you look at a position and you go like, okay, all kings are safe, neither side has a very obvious attack, that's when you go like, okay, so the position will be decided on who is ahead on material. There's absolutely no point counting material if I've got a raging attack against an uncastled king like this, right? Like, who cares?
Yeah, it's true.
It's perfectly irrelevant. You would count material if the position was like this. That is perfectly sensible to actually look at material considerations here, because neither side has anything apparent going on in terms of kings or attacks, or like this looks balanced more or less. So this is when you start counting material and you look at positional considerations like, oh, white is an isolated pawn. That's not good.
Right.
Which even that is an incorrect statement, but right now would be correct because white doesn't have the necessary initiative that we like to associate with an isolated pawn. But, you know, when there is total carnage on the board like this, who cares about material?
Yeah.
That's just painted wood. Throw it in.
So the first couple moves, as long as you can move your pieces, that's the same, right? All the things I learned are just as it turns out. Don't move your pieces twice.
Oh, that's handy. Look, those things are actually handy because those things tend to lead to problems. Like the reason why Black's king got stuck here in the middle is because f6 knight has moved twice. c6 knight has moved twice. This hasn't developed. This hasn't castled.
Right, that's
so
true.
The principles had to be violated for us to be able to sack piece like this, right? So if they play correct sound chess, they develop their pieces, they control the center, then you are not going to be able to go into punish mode like this. But every single game I showed you today featured Black, coincidentally, playing unprincipled chess, where they left their king in the middle, they lagged behind in development, so they were asking for punishment.
This is actually really so good. And that's the other thing is like sometimes I'm like, oh, I see that they've made a bad move, but I don't know how to attack this.
To conclude this lesson for yourself only, although I recommend it to all of our viewers too. There is a YouTube video that I posted a long while ago. It's a very old video. I should make a new one, which is I think titled "Material versus Initiative," I think. And it's actually a snippet of a lesson, or I got it out of a lesson, from a game of a student.
Yeah.
Morphy said that the three most important things in chess is center development and king safety. If only someone had done those courses. Obviously, he's plugging them at chessable courses that are...
I have your center course.
Oh, it's good.
It's really good.
Thank you. Rumor has it that it's semi-decent.
Oh, just semi-decent?
No, I'm kidding.
I haven't finished.
No, I'm very proud of that. I think that's one.
You should be. It's really good.
That's one of the best things that I've ever created in my life, without any exaggeration. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Anyway, I hope Katrina.
If you're thinking about it, you should get it, chat.
Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this.
I did. This was great. Thank you very much.
No, my pleasure.
Delaying your Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I need to rush off now to pick up my wife from the beautician / the shopping mall where she spent millions of dollars.
Last minute shopping.
Yeah, no, she actually has done her shopping. It's shopping for the food. She's far better organized than doing Christmas shopping. That's me. So now I will have to do the shopping because that's what.
They're not already under the tree?
Not all of them, no. My part is lacking. Someone has to give chess lessons.
I have no suggestions for this. I feel like thank you very much.
No, it's all good.
Sorry
it's all good
for delaying this.
No. Remember that I proposed this time in the first place, so you don't need to apologize for anything. Thank you very much. I will be, Katrina, away for next week entirely.
Okay. You're...
So today is a Friday where I am on the road.
Okay.
I will be coming back, not the coming Monday, but the one after. 4th of Jan.
Okay, we could just resume after.
Yes, so that's my grand plan. If there is any competition in between, best of luck. There
isn't.
Okay.
And we're waiting to find out what's going to happen for January 8th anyway.
Cool. Are you continuing to stream? Because I will raid you then.
Yeah, I'm gonna review all the things before I close this. Just,
okay.
You know, I gotta.
Okay, exactly. That sounds good. I'm going to raid you then now, and I will have to go. So thank you very much, my chat. Okay. Thank you, YouTube. I record this for YouTube. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah,
so
of course.
YouTube might see
Bye,
what a legend you are. But I'm going to stop that recording now.